has a section specifically designed for social media. So use it, it's a great tool and it helps a lot. Now, if we look at Twitter, Google takes into account the number of tweets a page has. So they can look at Twitter. You know that Twitter is indexed, so if you look, you can do an experiment per se, tweet something on your page that you know that a word that nobody else is going to use, and then a couple of hours later search for that word and you see it in the SRP. Google indexes Twitter and takes into account the number of times a page is tweeted. Now, to get around how many tweets should you do per day? It's at least 10. You should be tweeting like all the time about your content, about what's relevant to your brand, to your product, to your website. So you have to be very active on Twitter to get the results, because Twitter changes like every second. The authority of people who tweet. So if you're not a nobody or create tons of Twitter accounts just to create bad links, it won't make a dent. Because like if I say, it's like an old black hat tactic, you create different personas to get more links, backlinks, it won't work because the authority is important. So the number of followers you have, the number of people retweeting the content you shared, so that's important as well. So creating like 2,000 Twitter accounts, phony Twitter accounts, will help you a lot. One of the good tactics is contact people who have a good presence on Twitter and ask them nicely to tweet about you. So that's a good way to get around. Now, on your site, in your code, you can put like what we see here: share, tweet, Google, LinkedIn, stumble upon, and Pinterest. That text there is something you program on your website. So make sure that every teeny bits of those buttons are well used. So in this case, I find it funny because it's a prediction that video ads will generate a couple of boxes for Facebook in 2014. So the text recaps what's going on. You can put hashtags there, linking to your content and a link to your website. Now, if I share that content quite a bit on my different channels, and most people, what they do is they just click on it, they share it, everything, and they don't rewrite what's going on. So use that on your site to say what you want to say, what you want to find in the search engines. Now, as I said, users don't bother rewriting what's on there. Facebook. Now, Google doesn't see all the Facebook accounts, but it's likely, again, it's likely, we don't know for sure, but it's likely that they take into account the number of likes a link has. Once a link has this share, they take into account the number of likes. So it's a bit tricky, this one. But as we said earlier, the number of shares is similar. It's a great way to get backlinks, and the more impact if that link is liked a lot. So we're not talking about linking and link building. We're talking about people liking what you put up there. Now, a great example. This website I just love, and this is a dress I would like very much. And here, ShopBop is one of the best e-commerce sites aside Amazon, and they did a very poor job describing that amazing dress. Now, you can see we just have the name of the dress, discover what's new and what. I mean, come on, guys. Give me some content. I put that on Pinterest and everything, and there's no text. I mean, so many sites I see don't take the trouble of putting that description. You wrote it already. You have it. So include it into your Facebook share, it's no big deal. And then I would say something like, isn't it this great? But I had to go into all the trouble, you know, describing what the product is about. Help me, you know, do it for me, do it for your users. And that way, that content is going to be more likable. Be nice to people. Pinterest. Now, who doesn't know Pinterest in the room? Okay, what happened to you in the past year? Where have you been?
Well, not much on Facebook and Pinterest, I guess.
Okay, we'll talk later. So you all know that Pinterest is breaking all records in popularity, especially for women. It's 80% women. So lucky for you, you're a guy. It's the biggest traffic driver in e-commerce. The conversion rate is higher with Pinterest than it is with Facebook. So if you have an e-commerce site and you're not on Pinterest, you are in trouble. Because this is a big game changer. Now, in 2012, statistics showed that Pinterest drove close to 4%, as I said earlier, in traffic. And the number of pins that content has is taken into account in ranking your site. So the thing is, when we talk e-commerce, but also all other stuff, is that people are more likely to purchase from something they've pinned than something they just shared everywhere. For instance, I pin a lot of shoes, but I do buy a lot of shoes. And it's true for, we say, fashion, of course, beauty, of course, but all gardening, cooking, everything that's related to yoga, to, you know, everything we like, we love. And Pinterest is fun because people are loving on that social media. They're not like complaining about the government. They're not complaining about the environment. They're not complaining all the time about, you know, everything. They're just overly joyful, and that atmosphere of joy that Pinterest has makes it likable, makes it easy to share content, and a nice image, a nice description of what you do is going to be loved and repeated ad nauseum. Now, this is Shabbat again, that same dress that I pin on my board, all the stuff. There's no description. Now, I had to write a description myself. But when you are in a pitting mood, or like when you are in a Twitter mood, you do it a lot. Like when you are in that state, shopping, or you want to share stuff, you want to do it quickly because you want to pin a lot, you want to tweet a lot, you want to share a lot. So, you know, be nice to the people who's going to share your content. Help them, put interesting text for them, and that text is indexed. So be nice. Now, Google Plus. Yes?
Just a question about Pinterest. I have an account and I try just to post some pictures, stuff I do. Now, the thing is, with Pinterest, it's like Facebook. You need to have followers, right? So
they come naturally. They do come naturally out of the blue. Like, I used to follow, when I got started on Pinterest over a year ago, I followed a couple of persons that I found interesting. That they had a lot of followers, and you know, the same feeling that if you follow me, I'm gonna follow you. Now I have close to 3,000 people following me, and I have no idea where they come from.
Okay, but that's the point. It starts with having friends that use Pinterest.
Yeah,
too.
you
can't
do.
just pin stuff and expect anyone.
If they
like
have,
Twitter.
because sometimes when you choose, let me go back. On your boards, you categorize, you organize your information. Okay, so when I go, sometimes when I look for stuff, I'm just browsing, I go into a section, a category.